So it's Friday, so it's time for Poets. Some of us know that as Push Off Early, tomorrow's Saturday, but in this context it's the Perioperative Enhancement Team. Inspired by Dr. Sol Aronson and the team at Duke, a selection of clips to get us thinking about the next steps in providing world-class perioperative care. You'll find the full lectures in our back catalogue, or join us at the upcoming Perioperative Practicum for expert discussions, business case tips, and hands-on workshops. Go to www.edpom.org and look for our international programme of perioperative practicums. Top Med Talk.
Hello, I'm Desiree Chappell, and this is Top Med Talk. I'm here with Monty Mythen, Editor-in-Chief of Top Med Talk. Hello, Monty. How are you?
I'm great, Desiree. Thank you.
And we have one of our friends of the Top Med Talk family, Dr. Elena Koepke. She's an anesthesiologist at the Moffitt Cancer Center in Tampa, Florida. She's also an assistant professor at USF, University of South Florida. Elena was last time that you were sitting down with us, but you were in a fellowship, right?
Yes, it was a fellowship with some faculty days at Duke. I was one of the inaugural perioperative medicine fellows there.
So you're one of the first grads, right?
Yes, first grads in that type of perioperative medicine fellowship in the United States, really.
Yeah.
Previously, a lot of them were based on business, and now it's kind of moving towards the perioperative quality and outcomes issues more so.
Yeah, and how to kind of use that clinically and in practice and not just the business aspect.
I think that fellowship is unique because it has some degree of partnership with our institution, University College London.
It's modeled after the University College London Perioperative Medicine Fellowship.
So just to do a bit of advertising for the fringe benefits of being a Duke UCL fellow. You've been to London a few times?
You can't underestimate that benefit. Just learning from that network of people, being able to participate in the MSc, or if you any of the various levels.
Program?
It is an online master's program, and we did get to go to London for the EPBOM meetings, as well as the cardiopulmonary exercise testing courses. Really just a wealth of information to tap into that we wouldn't have had otherwise here in the States.
Now we heard a lot about CPET today.
We have.
So it looks as though we reached a tipping point today from the METS trial, where there seemed to be quite a big thumbs up for the fact that CPET has quite a lot to offer. You must be one of the very few CPET aware trained individuals in the United States of America.
That's true. I think in the pulmonary critical care fellows, that route in ICU, some of them are taught to read it, different reasons, but there's not many of us. So it would be nice to be able to utilize that as some of our institutions start to accept that as part of the preoperative process.
And you went to the course in London. I've just tweeted that they're doing the 20th course. That's how long.
Is it the 20th?
It's the 20th.
I didn't know
this year, the 20th CPET Poets course.
Yes.
And was that how long did that take?
That was taught by the wonderful Dr. Denny Levitt, and it just took a few days. Yeah. And it is intensive and definitely some new skill to get used to, but I found it very useful, and honestly I would go again just to refresh myself.
But it's not complicated, it's user-friendly. Yeah?
Well, as anesthesia providers in the broadest sense, we've got the heads up that we kind of know the gases in and out bit and the alveolar exchanges, and we've got the idea of the flow lung
physiology.
Yeah, so we're kind of well ahead from that perspective. But I've been around it for a long time. Really, you have to do and or see a lot before you. So you can be didactically taught. I think it's a bit like echo or anything like that. You can be didactically taught, but then you need to get a whole load under your belt.
Gotcha.
To really start to look at the 9-panel plot and see it like an EKG.
And there were people there that were going right from that course into leading that CPET initiative at their institutions. So, because there is so many few experts around in it.
Yeah.
So it was very useful.
Wow, that's cool. We're doing one with John Whittle is going to be talking about CPET at the EBPOM
in Dallas.
Dallas,
there's an introduction to CPET now, which is when it started off in the UK, it was the sort of half-day workshop introduction to CPET. Come along and see one and get over your fear of what it might be like. The analogies again then with the early days of echo. Mm-hmm. You know, I've seen cardiologists going around with echo. Could I touch an echo machine? Well, we've got over that fear of it now. Yeah. So the introduction is very much come and see a test. Yeah. And it's just cool.
Yeah. I want to do it.
And the patients get it. The patients really get it, because if you do a dobutamine stress echo on a patient, they kind of, I don't really get that. Yeah. Stick them on an exercise bike. Boom. And I remember when we were the early days of it, the people would come up to you and say, "Hey, doc, I'm fitter than I thought I was." Yeah. Or you know, Dad's not quite as fit as we thought he was. Yeah. You know, so it's very, very tangible. Yeah.
What I thought was interesting whenever they were talking about CPET is, and Dominda kind of briefly touched on it, but it's like what to do with the results and how do you manage, or, you know, what do you do with it? And we talk a lot about like shared decision making, and I know when someone on Top Med Talk shared a story about after their CPET test, they were able to, you know, make a decision not to have surgery. So it was kind of indication of that. And so I think that's one of the things that we're not talking a lot about. Yeah,
I think it definitely informs shared decision making. Mm-hmm. There are some interventions, whether it be starting drugs, stopping drugs, lifestyle changes that can make you fitter in a very short period of time before surgery. But the very big trials that are currently ongoing are exploiting the window of opportunity that goes with having neoadjuvant chemotherapy in particular before major cancer surgery. And in that window, which results in inevitable delay to surgery because you hope you're shrinking the tumour, you have an intense exercise program. So those trials, the pilot results from them look great. They look very, very encouraging. But those big trials are ongoing. Many of them led by Denny Levitt, Mike Grocott, the group.
Top Med Talk. Nick Majerison here. Thanks for listening to Top Med Talk. Now all you need to do is find us on social media. We can be friends on Facebook. We can follow each other on Twitter. We can hang out on Instagram, or we can even gawp at each other on YouTube. Get onto your social media platform, whichever your favourite is, and you're likely to find Top Med Talk there. Whilst you're at it, make sure you've subscribed to this podcast so you never ever miss an episode. Helps us enormously if you do that, by the way. And check out the website, topmedtalk.com. On there you can find the email updates where we update you as to what we're doing each week. And whilst you're online, whilst you're doing your thing on the internet, I highly recommend you download all of the podcasts that we've put out here on Top Med Talk. We do an enormous amount of material here. A lot of it is incredibly valuable and, of course, will be in the future. So I just recommend you download the entire back catalogue if you could. Helps us out if you do that as well. And check out edpom.org/meetings, because if you go on there, you can find out where we're recording and what we're doing, because we go to the big meetings, the EdPom meetings. You may have noticed most of our material comes from some of these wonderful conferences that are organised by Evidence-Based Perioperative Medicine. So EdPom, ebpom.org/meetings. Get yourself on there, and why not check out the Dallas Masters course, a Perioperative Care Practicum. Hopefully I'll see you there.